What about the anti-vaxxers believe? So there's 4 misconceptions that the anti-vaxxers believe that you shouldn't get vaccinated, and this is probably the biggest reason why this all started spreading, where there was outbreaks of specific viruses and diseases in America.
Yeah, so initially these anti-vaxxers believe that the MMR vaccine itself leads to autism and the development of autism. That's proven false, basically because the reason autism is on the rise isn't really because of the vaccine, it's because the autism spectrum has grown, so different developmental disorders we now throw into the spectrum of autism. So there's more disorders that are just called autism now than they were before. And if you think about it, less people are getting vaccinated now, and that has been attributed to any kind of decrease in autism at all.
Yeah, and we actually, 2 podcasts back, we talked about the link between autism and all these like skincare products that like females use, and the high levels of estrogen in the womb, right? That's correlated to that. So it might be an external source that's causing autism in kids and this developmental disease, not the vaccines themselves.
Yeah. This effect argument, just the argument itself saying that MMR causes autism is completely false, because we have seen a decline in MMR vaccines, the vaccines in general, but there hasn't been any kind of decline in autism. So it doesn't even make sense in the first place.
It's probably the chemtrails.
Probably, man.
Like there's like those planes spraying those streaks of fumes or whatever up in the air. You don't even know what they're releasing.
Well, who knows? Maybe. Another thing, what they were pushing is they said this preservative called thimerosal is how you say it. They were saying that was actually linked to autism, and that's been proven false, and that hasn't really been used in vaccines since 1999, and it hasn't been shown to attribute to anything autism related. Yeah, some shit.
Another one, sometimes they believe that infants are too young to get a vaccine, but I think they did research that you could get literally all 14 vaccines given to you at once, and it's not going to affect the baby. Like literally, your body's able to handle that capacity. Like there's a 0.1% chance of something going wrong.
Right. And like think about it, it's an infant, it's a baby. Like that baby's walking around, it's crawling around, it's getting exposed to multiple viruses, bacteria, toxins all at the same time. I mean, how often if you have a baby or if you dealt with children at all, you turn around 1 minute and you turn back around, they have something in their mouth. Anything, they'll just put whatever they want in their mouth, and they play with everything. And basically, a baby is just like a breeding ground for bacteria, and they fight it off easily.
And there's that whole debate that, like, let the kid play in dirt, let them get dirty, because your infant's immune system, or the baby, like, it's developing because it's being exposed to everything. Like, if you have that crazy mother that's, bleaching every single counter that the baby touches, like, you're not giving your baby any kind of bacteria for them to be exposed in, because that's how their immune system, like, is working. Imagine it like a muscle. Use it or lose it, right? If you're working out, you're pumping the muscle, it's going to grow. Same thing with the immune system. If you're not exposing it to any common threats, it's probably going to weaken.
Yeah, it's not learning anything. It's not learning how to fight off infections. If you keep your little baby in a box or in a bubble its whole life, and then it goes to first, second grade, it's going to get sick every day.
Yeah.
Because it has no built-up immunity. It hasn't learned how to fight off anything. And, and child grows older and is more susceptible to infections and disease, and that just causes a whole issue of problems. Another thing is that a lot of people are saying that natural immunity is better. I mean, is it really better? It is, technically it is better, but would you want to expose your child to measles so they could develop the antibodies for it? No, that's ridiculous. It's much more efficient and more healthier to give an MMR vaccine than to have the child get measles and have it learn how to fight off itself. Because what if it can't? It's like 1 out of 500 chances of death if you're exposed to measles, compared to like 1 out of 1,000,000 your chance to having like an allergic reaction to a vaccine. That's not a risk I'm willing to take for my kids.
You shouldn't. Speaking of like natural immunity, I'm digressing here a little bit. I was researching something that when you change your perspective, like you're more positive, let's just say, or you're meditating and you're calming down your mind. There's this Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he actually showed within 4 days, if you change your mindset in a way, you're able to increase your natural immunity IgA levels. It was studied by actually 50%.
Yeah,
And, back to the topic of optimism and all this energy stuff, how it affects things. But it does.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with vaccinations. Like, you shouldn't, focus on natural immunity. But there's ways to, strengthen your immune system, make your body more effective against fighting infections.
Yeah, like the whole mind and body perception, and there's a theory is that your brain is linked to your organs are linked to your brain, and it all works together as a group.
I think we are a pretty intelligent organism, and your body and your mind are separate. And we're always talking, we're always communicating, and your body knows your body. Man, the body's so interesting. It's amazing. Even just talking about this immunity, like how the heck is your body able to recognize threats and have literally a book of 500 bacteria and viruses, whatever, to fight it off and know when it's happening, and a little macrophage comes in, swells it up, and it kind of. And
consciously, you know what's going on. You have no idea what's going on in your GI tract anywhere. It just works. It's an automation. It just knows how to do it, and that's what it does. You don't think about it. You don't when when you have a flu. You don't picture your white blood cells attacking influenza and engulfing it and destroying it. No, it just happens by itself.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
And I think the fourth one, a lot of anti-vaxxers believe that these vaccines contain unsafe toxins. They are toxins, but in the small increments that they're given, they're approved by the FDA, and they are considered safe. For example, one of them, they are afraid of formaldehyde. And a lot of people don't know that formaldehyde is actually... See, we talked about formaldehyde in nail polishes last time, and in eyelashes. So maybe there's a higher concentration that's being exposed to, which could be leading to autism. But here, if you're getting a vaccine, this formaldehyde is not any significant threat to your own body. And formaldehyde is actually produced in your own body through the own
the GI tract.
Metabolic system, yeah.
Yeah, it's a byproduct in the GI tract, and it's needed for some reactions happening in your gut. So, you make more of it than the amount that's in vaccines. Doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah. What is your viewpoint on, for example, flu vaccines?
Flu vaccines...
Because we're obligated to take them, unfortunately, in healthcare, they would basically tell you not to show up to work or wear a mask.
Flu vaccines, I don't know. I'm not really for the most part, even though I do get them because I don't have a way out of it, but... there's so many different strains of influenza that I feel like it's a small percentage of them that they get right. There's been times, I probably say every year I get the flu shot, and I'm probably sick with the flu every year.
Yep.
I think flu shots are great if they could pinpoint what kind of influenza it's going to be and pinpoint it, and then put that in the actual vaccine itself, compared to giving us 5 or 6 different strains of it and hoping one of them is going to be the one for this year.
Because a lot of people don't know that. So when it comes to the flu, you heard about the swine and all this stuff. The reason why every single year it changes is because this virus is mutating. It's getting smarter. It's just imagine bacteria, right? We over-medicate with antibiotics to specific bacteria, and sometimes this bacteria figures out a way how to develop immunity. And then we get, for example, MRSA, which is a multi-resistant bacteria that's able to withstand specific, antibiotics. Right. And you have to give it the heavy-duty antibiotics to actually get rid of it.
Right. Well, you want to see what goes into a flu shot in that case?
We can. But personally, if I was able to give it myself, I would say I did, and I wouldn't give it. But unfortunately...
Yeah, like I said, I'm for it if they could pinpoint correctly which influenza it's going to be. Then I'm for it. I'll take a flu shot over getting sick with the flu for 5 days or a week. But right now we don't have
They're not as effective as they should be.
Exactly.